I'm Andrea from My Fabric Addiction, and today we are going to be doing the Star Crossed Quilt pattern by Chelsea Stratton Designs. So grab your quilt kit and let's get started. So this quilt pattern is a fat quarter friendly pattern. The line we are using today is Albion by Amy Smart for Riley Blake. We are going to be using our Sew Ready Quilt Kits. So when you would get your kit, it all comes pre-packaged with everything all cut and ready for you, so you don't have all the cutting. This line is so fun. It has some outdoorsy stuff and beautiful colors. So let's get going on it. Okay, so this quilt has 2 different units that we will be making and then join them together for our whole block. So we are going to be making our half square triangle units. So there's lots of different ways to make half square triangle units. The pattern tells you to do a pencil. So when I do this, I like to draw all my lines so I know where I'm sewing. So we're just taking the center line right down the middle, and then I am going to go from that line and then draw my 1/4 inch, and I am going to sew on these 2 lines, and we're going to cut on this line. So we're going to do right sides together. So we're going to sew 1/4 inch from that center line, which we drew. You don't have to draw it. I like to draw it just because it's a little easier for me to see. I like to sew fast. Barefoot and pedal to the metal is always what I do. All right. Now, I would do this with all of my pieces. I would take all of these squares. The pattern will tell you exactly which size squares we are of these, and then I would take the next one and I would chain piece. Chain piece is where you are doing one right after another without cutting our thread. So we are going to cut right down the center line. And then we are going to press these open. I have all these done and ready for us, so I only have to make just a couple. And I am pressing my seams to the dark side of the fabric. So then we need to take these and we are going to square them up. The size that the pattern lets you know is not our pattern, so I cannot share any of those. You're going to take your ruler has lines, and I put it on the same line right in the center like that, and then go to your measurement. You want to make sure that this piece and right here are at your measurement that you need. Then you know that you have the right size. I always do the first one a little bigger. First cut's always going to be a tiny bit bigger than what you need. And then your second one will give you your perfect size. Always try to make sure your ruler doesn't move on you. Now we're going to lay out our unit. So we have, if you look at this, we have our white square on this side, our 2 flying geese, and our print. So we're going to do the same. We want our half square triangle units to be facing the white going on the outside. This is how we want to do it. Now, when I'm making these, I did one whole block at a time. So I would put, we need 4 of these, so I would stick 4 and 4 and 4. And then I would take them to my machine. All right. When we're sewing our units together, we're gonna take this one and flip it over. So they're right sides together, and we make sure that their half square triangle is facing the right direction. Right sides together. Make sure our end pieces match up. So when I press these open, I want to press towards my square, not my half square triangle. And then that way I can just flip that closed, and they are gonna nest because I flipped the seams. And they're just gonna go together just like that. Press our seam. And that is our first unit. Okay, so our next unit, we're gonna be doing some stitch and flip. There's lots of different ways. We could do it just like we did the half square triangle, where we can draw down the center, stick it on, and sew down. As you set your square in the corner that you need it. Put on your size. Cut. And then I take these and I use these. I sew them together and I will make something up. So we are going to sew down this line. And what I do with my little triangles that I cut off is I use them for a leader or an ender. It just makes it to where your thread doesn't get caught underneath your machine when you start a new stop. And I just cut it and press. And then our next one, next square, stick it on. Make sure it's on there right. All right, and then we'll take all these and we will get our block put together. So now we have all of our units made. Now we're ready to put together our block. So we first start with our center. White squares to be on the outside. And that is it. So now we are going to take these and we are going to do it just like we did our small units, just our big ones. So I will take all of these, this one to this one, this one to this one, and sew them all together. So when I am planning out my seams on how I'm going to press them, if I'm doing a block like this, I will press this block this way, this block this way, and this block this way. That way everything will nest together. Your patterns will tell you sometimes, but I will kind of plan out my own. I'm just gonna Now we're just going to take this one and down, and then this one will go to this one. Get that done. I'm going to pin my seams. We're going to pin on this side. See how my seams are nesting together? You can actually feel them kind of locked together. I usually start in the center, especially if it's a bigger thing. And a nice press. Next one. Give your block a good press. And that is it. So there is 9 blocks in this. They go together really quickly. You will have your sashing pieces in between with your cornerstones, and then another border, and it's super easy to put together. I hope you enjoy this tutorial, and like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.